Tally ho, friends, and welcome to episode 1 of Kupo Quest. So, really quick, I just want to give you a quick overview of what this is for people who might just be stumbling across this. Kupo Quest is a actual play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, set in a homebrew world that I've created based on the themes of Final Fantasy. So I have 4 amazing players ready to go. If you want to just really quick, just give us your name and your character's name. I'll start with you, Nozak. I'm going to refer to you as character because that's what's on the screen, and it's easier for me to remember everybody with the tags.
Hello. Yes, I am Michael. I'll be playing as Nozak Holyway. Easy done.
All right. And then next we have Izzy.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Ace, aka the Big A, aka your favorite non-binary friend. I'm going to be playing Izzy, a little bunny boy.
Well, now we have the little bunny boy with Nozak, because he's the little bunny boy. So you got to be the bigger bunny boy. So
the medium-sized bunny boy.
So just to clarify that, Nozak Holyway is, of course, a Loporrit, and Izzy is a Viera. Next, we have Grunthor. Tell us a little bit about you, sir.
My name is Jim, or Harlequin. I am playing Grunthor, Galka Fighter, and you are next.
Oh, no. Threatening the DM is the best way to start a new campaign. And then finally...
Only new character.
Hope you had backup. And finally, we've got Avalan, if you'd like to... Did I say that right? Avalan, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm still kind of figuring it out. All I have is the letters on the screen. We'll figure that as we go, though.
Perfect.
But I'm Fishy Bugs or Fishy. And yeah, for now, let's stick with Avalan. I'm sure that'll change, but hey, that sounds good for now.
It'll change?
Well,
who knows? Who knows what we're gonna go with? It's all live, so the concept is we're just gonna play some D&D. So this is gonna be live streamed, unedited. We're just gonna play some D&D, just basically inviting you into our game. Hopefully, it's entertaining. If not, I guess just turn the stream off. But hopefully, you don't. Quick overview: you can see over on, I guess, the left-hand side. You will see the roles. We are gonna display our roles from D&D Beyond. And in the middle content window, we'll have our maps and things like that. And we are going to be having some ambient noise throughout the stream, and that's going to be brought to you by Sirenscape. You can see their little logo down there, too, if you want to check them out. I think they're awesome. We did a try run with them not long ago, and I think we all kind of liked it. So, without further ado, that's all of the pre-game blah, blah, blah. I'm ready to play some D&D. Are you guys, are you all ready?
Yeah.
I'm dying to play.
Okay.
I've been waiting 2 months.
Has it been 2 months? It's not been 2 months.
Almost 2 months for this.
Wow, I'm sorry. But that's a lot of pressure. Now I got to deliver. Otherwise, they're going to think I've been doing nothing for 2 months. Okay. Quick overview of the setting. Just for those, I know my players here have a little bit better understanding, but an overview of the setting for our viewers. This is the world of Fantasia. This world was crafted based on the themes of Final Fantasy, but it is wholly of my design. I will be pulling references or cities and things like that from the Final Fantasy franchise, but they're not going to be exactly a one-to-one comparison of what you'd expect. The world that we are currently taking place in has been one that's been ravaged by wars across its centuries. We will start our journey in the Kingdom of Cornelia. This is a kingdom that has kind of been cut off from the rest of the world by the Empire. About 20 years ago, there was a great war named as the Spira War. This was named after the region of which Cornelia lies in the greater world of Fantasia, in the Spira region. This war did not go very well for Cornelia, and based on that, the Empire did annex much of the land around it, effectively cutting them off from the rest of the world. We find our heroes there as we pick up our story, but just to kind of give you a little bit of the political background of what's going on between the Empire and Cornelia, where we pick up. So, without further ado, I think it's time. Or should we wait? You want to wait a little bit longer? Or are you ready to go?
I swear to God.
I'll take a nap.
This is why the rest of the world does not trust the Americans, okay? This is why we don't like you.
I'm pretty sure there's way more reasons people don't like us.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, let's just get started. Ace, Izzy, you blink. The light blinds you as though you've been in a dark cave, and you're just now kind of stepping out into the light, and for a minute you see nothing but brightness, and you can't even blink against it multiple times. As your vision starts to come back, you look around, you find yourself in the middle of what seems to be a rather newly constructed town. Most of the buildings here seem really young buildings, and there seems to be a crowd that has gathered around. You see that there's kind of been a cleared out space in the middle of this, but you don't have any recollection of how you got here. The last couple days, weeks, months, a blur. You don't remember anything. Describe to us what your character looks like, please.
Izzy, as I pull up a picture. Izzy, he stands at a... Did I actually put his height? I'm sorry. Hold on. Did I put his height? I did not. Okay, so Izzy stands at about average height, so 5'6", 5'7". He has a bit of a baby face, but he's relatively young, brown eyes. You do see he has a bit of a goatee, but like no mustache. Very classic Vieira. It's very difficult for them to grow facial hair. He's wearing a very well-maintained wizard robes, but they're not exactly like expensive. They're just a bunch of blues and silvers. On his shoulder, almost pecking at his up rabbit ears, under a very large wizard hat, you see a very beautiful crow, who seems to be pecking at his ears, and he like kind of pushes them away. He pushes up his glasses and he checks himself, and he makes sure his giant, comically like large orb that seems very misplaced is under his arm, and his even comically larger book that is strapped to his back is still there. And he just looks around.
Temporarily lost somebody. Just a second. You're looking around. Give me a perception check. First roll of the game.
Ooh.
Izzy
That one.
has a
Don't
plus
fail us,
3 on
Izzy.
this.
That one.
Hold on.
That's the best one.
Oh shit! I have all-line dice now.
Yeah, you do. Please be.
Yikes! That's an 11.
Okay. You're kind of disoriented. As you're kind of coming to and you're looking around and you're kind of taking in everything at once. You see that there has been a clearing that's made, and there seems to be a crowd that's gathered around that's kind of looking in at a collection of different people, you of which seem to be among those that they're staring at. As you're kind of, doing a mental check of yourself, you notice that you're sweating a little bit, and you've got a familiar tingle in your fingertips. You've been casting spells. You don't remember what kind, you don't remember anything, but you can feel that almost like electricity that just as the mana flows through you. But what you do see is towards the middle of where everyone's looking, there do seem to be 3 other figures. But standing a little bit further beyond them, what catches your eye first is the most peculiar creature you've ever seen. You've never actually seen anything quite like it. It's not that different from you. It has similar ears. It also seems to be in that rabbit-type territory. Nozak, would you please describe your character for us?
Yeah, so Nozak is a Loporrit from a land above. He is currently only 2 feet tall, and at the moment he's currently wearing a kind of like a polished chrome chest plate with leather greaves on his feet. He does have some more heat-proof, heavy-duty gloves on at the moment. And what makes it quite funny is that on his wrist he has a black and red gauntlet that is kind of a bit more high-tech than the rest of his body. And in his other hand, he has what would probably for everybody else be like a letter opener, but to him is at least a regular-sized sword.
Aww.
um, and yeah, I've been tossing. I think I'm going with a light shaded, a light shaded brown fur. That's a little bit trimmed due to the work that he was doing beforehand, but it's like covering his whole body. He's got the ears going on, and he has this really cute little pink nose because I think that would be adorable.
It is. It's very adorable. In fact, Izzy, the one thing that you kind of think as you're saying, "Wow, this is a really weird creature," is that is the most adorable nose I've ever seen on something in my life. So what are you doing? You have a very similar. You wouldn't obviously know what Izzy was experiencing, but you're experiencing something very similar. You don't know where you are. You remember what you were doing, but there's a time gap in the last thing you remember and now. And it's extremely confusing for you, considering what you remember being the last thought you had. How you wound up standing here in this clearing in what looks to be a relatively newer modern city.
Where am I? What am I doing? Hang on, wait, I remember. Oh my god, what do I remember? I remember being in the forge. I remember getting asked to leave and work with them, and there was something else. Have I eaten bad food again? I've probably eaten bad food again. It was bloody Jeffrey, wasn't it? It's probably Jeffrey. Damn it. I might have to fight him. Oh, you're a tall bunny.
Looking across, give me a perception check as well, please.
Oh. Perception check, make sure I've got the right one. Where are you? There. We have 16.
16. So, looking around, you're a little disoriented, but your curiosity kind of pushes through that. You do notice the Vieira standing across, and they're not unusual for you. You've not seen that many in your time where you've lived, but you've seen them come and go. But what does catch your eye are three more figures that are more towards the center of the crowd where you're standing. One of them is lying on the ground. They seem to be unconscious, and there are two figures standing over top of them. One of them is a very large, kind of imposing Galka. Grunthor, would you like to describe your character?
Thor is approximately 7 feet tall, 320 pounds, quite muscular, and he has some kind of a greenish blue skin. He has black hair and green eyes. He is surrounded by chainmail, and he has a very wide-bladed broadsword in one hand and a shield in the other.
And you do notice, Nozak, that his weapons are drawn as he's standing over this figure. Grunthor, you do not remember drawing your blade. You don't remember much of anything. And honestly, that's not that unusual for you. For the longest time, there's been gaps in your memory that you just haven't had, but this seems even different somehow. You're not sure how much time is passed since you last had a memory. When you think back, it's all just blurry. And you don't know how you got here. You don't know who this person is at your feet. And as you look up, standing directly across this unconscious body, is young Ellison. Avalan, would you please describe your character?
Avalan is a younger Ellison. He has kind of platinum silver or snow white shoulder length hair that he keeps in a tight bun. He wears a silver kind of gi, like the martial arts uniforms. And he, the only visible weapons he has is a quarterstaff that he travels with. It's a pretty good sized quarterstaff too.
Okay.
He is, he's very, very mediocre looking.
Grunthor, you notice too that he also has his quarterstaff drawn kind of down at his side. Avalan, give me a perception check.
It's good.
You also have a very patchy memory of how you got here, what you're doing here. You don't have any idea where this is. This is not a place that you've been previously. In fact, this is not a place any of you remember having ever been, even in your long-term memory and what you can remember before. Izzy, give me a history check.
I sure will. Hold on. Shit. God damn it. Okay, here we go. Yikes, that's a 9.
So everything that you've read, there's not anything that's jumping out at you that the construction of the buildings around you makes sense. You know, you've read about the Kingdom of Cornelia, but it is supposedly the oldest kingdom, predating even the Reckoning. But the buildings near you seem to be incredibly new, probably built within the last 20 years. You don't know of any settlements that would have been built that recently. It's just in the heat of what's happening and your confusion, you don't know where you're at all. Grunthor, would you give me a perception check?
Hopefully this works.
19.
19.
Pretty nice, by the way. So, you know, you're not. You're accustomed to kind of being off balance a little bit for your memories and your life to just be kind of ethereal. So you kind of get your footing faster than the rest of these people that you've never met before. You don't recognize any of these people. As you're looking around, you see that the crowd is watching the 5 of you, the 4 of you and the 1 unconscious body, with horror, and they look terrified. As you look down at the body in front of you, it is also a Galka, a little smaller than you. They're still an imposing figure. They are a Galka. But you notice they're not breathing. You look up. You kind of lock eyes with Avalan. Across this body, you are standing over a dead person, having no idea how you got here.
Ooh, yikes.
What are you doing?
Meeting eyes of my potential foe. I'm going to size him up. He's the only one that has a weapon drawn. And I say, why did you kill him? And I kind of get into a fighting stance.
Well, I don't think I was alone in this one, big man. Why did you kill him?
I would not. Did I take a look at the body? Can I see what type of wounds were made?
Give me a medicine check. Avalan, you give me a perception check. It's hard.
7.
Without just from where you're standing, looking down at the body, it's hard for you to kind of tell what the actual cause of death was. There doesn't, at first glance, appear to be any blade marks, cuts, anything like that. Avalan, you notice that the person standing across from this body, their blade is clean. It doesn't have any blood on it. You kind of, not really remembering, just very subtly kind of glance down. You don't seem to have any blood or anything like that on your staff either.
DM?
Yes.
This might be a long shot. Izzy holds out his hand, and you see the crow fly to it. And you see he scratches its chin a bit, and he says, my friend, would you happen to know what happened here? I would hate to have caused any trouble, especially with the mission that we're on. And he looks at Anubis, and he says, He rolls his eyes as Anubis looks at him as well. Anubis is moving their head and squawking as if they're talking, and you see he kind of sighs a bit, and he reaches in his bag. You see he pulls out a bird seed.
Okay.
And he holds it out to him. He says, now will you speak to me, my...
Roll an animal handling.
Yeah, sure. Do I get advantage because we can speak telepathically?
Sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
That's cool.
Nice.
We'll just see how stubborn your bird
Roll.
is.
Yeah, ravens are kind of dickish.
So he takes the food. And you know, though, it's been a little while since you've been able to really restock. You know it's not his favorite types of grains that you've been buying. So he takes it, and you get this telepathic vibe of just kind of disappointment. But he does effectively, begrudgingly tell you no. He also seems to be suffering, but he seems confused. You know, he's a raven. His intelligence isn't quite as high. He seems like it almost feels to him like he teleported somewhere, like he doesn't have any concept of what has happened. But no, he kind of has the same as you, just total confusion and bewilderment.
He's going to sigh.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He sighs. He looks at his little friend who said he was a big bunny, and he says, I think that's more so a statement of opinion. Have a good day. And you see he looks at you before saying, and he just turns and he starts walking.
Hang on a second. Don't, mate, you can't walk off like that. There's a body in the ground. There's a body on the ground. I'm very confused. There's a body on the ground. You can't deny that something must have happened with the four of us around, right? Like, the four of us are here, we're alive, 5 appeared, 1's dead, 4 are okay. I don't think they're going to let you just walk out of here.
It's about that time when you hear some commotion in the crowd around you, as from one side some guards start pushing past. Get out the way! What? And they kind of push in and just kind of survey the scene. The first thing they notice is Grunthor and Avalon, who look like they're kind of standing off over top this body. As the guards point to the two of you and say, "Drop your weapons!" And they pull theirs. There's about 3 guards that have pulled in. One of them, though, turns and starts pushing his way back through the crowd. You're guessing to probably go get backup. They've drawn their swords.
This is a predicament.
I mean, they are guards. You can't exactly say no. I mean, you could.
Avalon will just drop his quarterstaff and put his arms out.
One of the guards...
Before I do anything,
go ahead.
is there any way I could see, like, what symbol they're, like, what they're, who they're representing?
They definitely have... It's not hidden. Give me a history check to see if you would remember what it pertains to. Their symbol is very, very well emblazoned upon their chest. You don't know. It looks vaguely familiar, and you know somewhere in the back of your mind you've seen this symbol before. You know enough to associate it with one of the major city-states in Fantasia, but you cannot remember which one it was, and you cannot remember if you've been here before. It is kind of like a stylized, it does almost look like a stylized sea, and you can see kind of jutting up through the sea. It looks like a tall tower of some kind, but that's about all you know.
Larry?
Seeing that there's a crowd as well as the 3 guards and one that probably went to go get reinforcements, I will place my shield down and stick the point of my sword into the ground. Obviously not near the actual body, and take a step back
Just stab it into the ground. Okay, so the one guard who seems to obviously be like the superior officer, he keeps his sword drawn and starts approaching you, whereas the other one kind of slowly makes his way around and kind of kicks your weapon out of the way. Avalan, he comes around to the other side too and kicks your weapon off to the side as well. Then the one that removed your weapons, turns and looks at Nozak. Did you see what happened here?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of woke up here the same as the others. Like, I was about a little bit out. I think I remember I was supposed to be coming here for a reason, but I don't remember why. I woke up and saw these two standing over the body. I kind of panicked too.
You woke up in the middle of the square. Have you been drinking?
I don't smell like alcohol. I don't think I've had alcohol in about 400 years.
What are you? For the first time, he's kind of processing as he's looking down at you. He's like, 400...
Oh, God.
I've been around a lot longer than that, thank you very much. I find it very hard to believe you haven't seen another one of me. It's like him, but taller. Shorter.
He looks over and notices Izzy. And what about you? Did you see what happened here?
No.
It's very convenient, don't you think? 4 people standing over a dead body and no one seems to have any idea of what happened.
You started the accusations. You didn't give us a chance.
I saw... you turn at this sound and there's a person stepping out of the crowd. They look like an older gentleman, kind of very bent over. You would probably put them there, Hume, probably in their early 70s even. I saw what happened here. Those 4, they murdered that Galka in cold blood. I saw it.
Don't like that.
I saw it with my own eyes. They attacked him.
What do I look like?
They're murderers. You should hang the lot of them. The guard kind of looks... At this point, the guard you saw run off comes back with 10 more guards, kind of flooding into this central area. At this point, the crowd around you starting to kind of turn into like a mob. They're starting to, you hear chants and, yeah, hang them all! Murderers! The one guard, who is likely the one in charge, closest to you, Grunther, says, I think you all better come with me. Peacefully. Don't want to get this ugly. We'll take you by force if we have to. But I would suggest you come with us.
Only if that old man is coming as well.
Make a persuasion check.
I was like, intimidation, yes, but...
Yeah, I don't know if you're... Any other situation, maybe. 10. The guard looks at you. I don't think you're in any position to be making demands right now. Do you?
This is very inconvenient.
I think this is quite unfair, to be honest.
As
I have no blood on my weapon.
Well, then you shouldn't have any problem coming with us until we have a chance to do a thorough investigation, then, would you?
You work for higher-ups.
Izzy walks forward very politely. And you guys actually note, and Nozak would actually notice his book is a lot smaller now as he passes people. It seems to have shrank to regular book size. He's wearing it almost like a small, like, messenger bag now, rather than a very large book. And he says, as long as this goes as quickly as possible, I have a job to do. Would you like my spell focus? And you see he holds the orb out.
You holding it out to the guard, the main guard. He
Yes.
kind of looks at it and he goes, what the hell is that? A ball?
Yes, it's a toy. You know, young kids like myself.
You can keep that.
You see it shrinks and he puts it in a bag.
This, he looks very taken aback. This is something that surprises him. Just kind of narrows his eyes at you. So you'll come. All of you. He looks at you, Avalan.
Just hold my hand out if he wants to do any restraints.
He nods to one of his officers who come up with rope and start binding your hands. After they get done with you, they move over to Grunthor, and the guy, he's short, okay? So he's a Hume, but he's on the shorter side. He's probably like 4'9". Like, he's a short dude. As he walks up to you, you can tell he's shaking a little bit as he's just got the rope, and he almost looks at you pleadingly, like, please don't put up a fight.
Buddy, don't make this a thing, please.
Exactly.
I kind of grinned. Was he the one that kicked my sword?
Yes.
I just kind of grin, look him straight in the eye, give a growl. Don't ever mistreat my equipment.
Intimidation check.
He's like, yay!
And of course I roll.
Oh man. For a minute he looks a little frightened, and then he just gets this like cocky little smirk on his face. It's like, okay. And he starts binding your wrists. And then you can feel
#AGAB.
He pulls just a little too tight at the end. Once he gets done, he moves over to Izzy. Same way. Not quite as intimidated. He doesn't look. Do you resist?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay. He binds your hands as well. And then makes his way over to Nozak, and he just kind of looks down at you, and he looks at, like, the rope in his hand, and then looks back at you. Do you resist?
I mean, I wouldn't let you, but you could, like, try to fit that around my wrists.
His tiny little hands.
He kind of takes it, and he makes, like, a big loop, and he wraps it around. He kind of makes your hands go down, and he wraps it around your, like, your waist, kind of tightens it, and you're kind of like on one of those toddler leashes now.
Oh my god, he's so tiny, he gets a full restraint. Oh, I love it.
Because you're right, the rope would not really, I mean, you'd just slip right out of that. So you kind of have like one of those toddler restraints. So you're free to
He's
go.
He's on a leash.
Exactly.
Just in case, I would like to just test the bonds. Do I think I can break them?
Give me a strength check.
Ooh.
I'm not going to break them.
Yeah, I know.
Just want
I understand.
Yeah.
You have to be very specific.
Wow. I'm just rolling bad.
Whatever the guy, when he did that extra kind of tie at the end, he did something there. You might be able to, but it would take longer than you'd have to be working on it. They seem like really good restraints. At this point, another one of the guards starts gathering up all of your equipment that you left behind, which I believe is just Grunthor's sword and shield and Avalan's staff, right? Because he didn't actually get anything from the two of you. So the one that's in charge kind of nods to his men. Take them to the castle. Well, go on, get! And he kind of snaps his fingers, and then they start leading you away from the square. The old man that kind of pointed at all of you is just saying, take them to the king! He'll know what to do with them! He'll know what to do! Put them in the ground!
As that happens, Izzy just goes, King, it's the king of this city again. Can he make another check on the history of this city?
You can.
Because I think at this point it's gnawing at him.
Give me and I'll give you advantage, because at this point you would have seen the insignia on the guards, so that would definitely help for how well read you are.
Yay. Yikes. Okay, 20, not nat.
Yes. So, you know where you're at now. Your things are starting to click into place, and you remember the history of the Kingdom of Cornelia. What gave it away was the crest on the guards' chests, But now it's starting to be pieced together why this part of the city looks so new. It is true. The Kingdom of Cornelia is the oldest city. It predates the Reckoning, which is 2,000 years ago, roughly, give or take. But during the Spira War, a lot of the conflicts were fought in the city of Cornelia itself as the Empire pushed their influence further to the southwest. Much of the city was destroyed. In fact, all that was remained after the war was just the main central castle and some of the nicer noble area houses, the Grand Library, and the church was all that was really left. The rest of the city was completely decimated. In the last 20 years, they've started rebuilding some of the city, which explains why this part of the city that you're in is a much newer part of the city. As they're leading you towards the castle, you see that things start to get older. You can see the streets start to take on more of a worn, weathered look. The houses, where the newer city is arranged in a pretty nice grid, as you get towards the center of the city, things are more haphazard. They kind of popped up as they were built, and you start to remember. In fact, you've actually studied quite a bit of this city, and I have just kind of a visual I could throw up on the stream.
Ooh.
But the city, which was once huge and grand, has been reduced to almost nothing, because they still even have ruins up to the northeast, where they just haven't even had a chance to clear out the debris from the war. Because the Empire actually pushed very well into the city and managed to even make it into the interior castle at one point. So as you move yourself with the guards in towards the castle, you start to get your bearings a little bit better. If you can see the map, if you're looking at that, the central area, the biggest thing, that is Castle Cornelia, as they kind of lead you past these like jagged, angled alleyways. You come up to what looks like a grand entryway into the castle. And at this point, they've been alerted of what's happening, and there's guards just kind of lining the walkway as you walk, and all of them are kind of sneering at you as you're just being led through, prisoners of a suspected murder. What are you all doing?
Izzy,
Anything in particular?
Izzy is
running
to keep up.
Izzy is looking. Izzy is looking around, and as he is, his expression goes from kind of monotone and quiet to like his eyes are wide, his mouth is agape, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, this architecture! They don't even use banisters like that anymore. Oh my goodness, is that hand stitched ceiling work? My goodness, look at this type of concrete. They haven't used this in ages." And like as he's going, the guard is like pushing him forward. He's like, wait, just 1 second. I really need to get a sketch of. Wait,
move it along. What are you doing? He kind of pushes you in the back with his shield. You kind of stumble forward a little bit. As you do that, they have actually tied Nozak, and that you kind of made like a chain. So as they push you forward, poor Nozak kind of gets pulled, just kind of on his little leash. Just for the hell of it, give me a dexterity saving throw, Nozak.
I'm gonna faceplant. Dexterity saving throws, dexterity, come on.
Yeah.
Oh no, baby!
Boom. As he kind of hits and drags just a little bit. It hurts. Not enough to do damage. I'm not that mean. It hurts. It's a little embarrassing too. And as he stumbles a little bit to get his footing, he drags you like 5 feet.
This is probably the weirdest time to show off this thing. Because my hands are tied and I can't help myself up, can I use my little thing to project a shield to help myself stand up?
Okay. Are you talking about the thing that I know about?
Yeah,
item.
That is
if you use
not
that,
how I would like to have announced it. But
it won't do just a shield. It will do the full thing.
Okay.
So that's up to you.
Probably not then.
Just so you know, it
Probably
won't just
not.
do like a shield or something. It will do like the full effect.
Yeah, probably not the whole
I
thing
will.
then,
If
no.
you want to do that, go for it.
I
That'll
am
be fun.
horrified.
It would be cool, but maybe not in Castle Cornelia. Maybe not in the whole middle of it all. I'll wait till it hits the fan.
So you get up, dust yourself off as best you can. Anybody else doing anything as you're walking, as they're leading you into the castle? They're leading you directly into the castle.
Hoping the same guard that tied me up is next to me. I've just been keeping my eye on him the entire time. Unless the old man is in the crowd, then I'm studying the old man.
The old man stayed behind. He did not come with you. He stayed behind. He kind of screamed at you as you were being dragged away, but he stayed back with the rest of the crowd. The guard, though, has been walking next to you. He does occasionally give you like a side, like just kind of out of the corner of his eye. He seems to be watching you. Hold on. He noticed you just kind of tug on the bonds, so he seems to be just kind of keeping an eye on you. But otherwise, he doesn't seem as jittery as he was before, but he's kind of just keeping lockstep next to you and occasionally just checking to make sure you're in line, basically.
Just like I said, I'm keeping eye contact and like going, "Good soldiering. What's your name?"
What? He looks...
You have a name.
I do. It's Jonathan. I mean, why? He seems very curious why you're talking to him. Like, he doesn't really understand what's going on. And he seems confused. Like, you can tell prisoners don't usually try to make chit-chat. But, so he seems kind of awkward when he goes, "What's your name?"
Quick, seduce him.
He's a little small for me.
Yeah, he's tiny.
King shit.
I am known as Grunthor. Jonathan.
Nice to meet you.
Could you just hear, oh my god, will they two just kiss already?
As you're walking, you're continuing to walk, and there's kind of an awkward pause, and he goes, "Do you really not have any idea what happened?"
I do not. I woke up standing there with my weapons to this body. And these others. And that old man.
He kind of looks... he looks because the person that's carrying the weapons is walking a little bit in front of him, and he kind of looks around and glances at the weapons himself. Give me an insight check. You see him start to waver a little bit. You think that maybe he too just noticed, your weapon is clean. As he just kind of clears his throat. So, any idea what did happen? If you don't remember, I mean, probably not. That was stupid. I'm sorry. Never mind.
You are going to bring the old man out of accusing us.
Kind of looks back. Notices that...
I have a right to face my accuser, Evelyn calls out.
Give me a persuasion check.
Me or Evelyn?
Oh, sorry, Grunther. Oh, Evelyn, were you saying that in character?
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage then, Grunther. As he would hear that. Help action.
Wow.
He just kind of shakes his head. He goes, "Look, you seem like the soldier type. The vibe I'm getting. Man, I'm just following orders. I just do what they tell me to do. I've got a wife. Got a kid on the way. I need the gill.
He's dead first.
Like I said,
Too
good
late
soldiering.
retirement.
Thanks. And then at this point, the guy that's in charge goes, "Would you two shut up? We're almost there." As he kind of leads you in. At this point,
is tired.
you you make your way into the castle. They take you. You assume that you're heading for like some holding cells. They actually take you straight past a corridor that takes you down towards the holding cells. They seem to be taking you directly to the throne room. They seem to be marching you directly towards the center of the castle. As you kind of wind your way in, this is a very old castle. And because of that, it's kind of laid out very confusing. You're not sure that you could find your way out of this place if you wanted to, or if you even needed to. It's not necessarily confusing by design, but it seems as though the castle started as one thing, and then over the centuries just kept building out and building out. And while from the outside it looks very clean, very organized, the inside is a muddled confusion of rooms and corridors. As they walk you through for 5-10 minutes, it becomes hard to keep track of time. They continue to kind of yell at the at the guards if they start to try to chit-chat with you. Eventually, they bring you up to this very grand double door. And you can see that the crest of Cornelia is kind of emblazoned right in the middle, so that when the door opens, it just kind of splits the crest. As they stop you in front of them and turn around, and the officer in charge addresses you, and he says, "I have been asked to bring you directly to the king. It has been a very, very long time since we've had a murder, and a murder in broad daylight in our streets. And the king has asked to speak with you personally." He kind of looks...
I still don't think we did it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, I still don't think we did it.
What you think is of no importance to me. It's for the king to decide. You can plead your case to him. As he kind of turns around and just bangs on the door. After a couple seconds, it opens. And as it opens, there is a plethora of people just waiting for you. At the end of a long kind of there's one of those long, really fancy, nice carpets, faded with age. It looks like it's been here for years and years and years as well. And at the very end, a few steps up onto the pedestal where the king is sitting in his throne. Right next to him is a rather tall, dark-skinned Ellison with gray hair that kind of comes down about shoulder length, with some streaks through it that are even just a little lighter gray, almost white, as he's standing just very poised with his kind of hands behind his back, obviously an advisor to the king. The king is an older Hume man, probably, it's hard to tell, maybe 50s, maybe 60s, old. He looks weary. The weight of the crown on his head, metaphorically, seems to have drained him. As they kind of shove you into this room and close the doors behind you with a loud thud. And then the guard, actually, the guard that brought you here, he leaves. And then as he's shutting the doors, he says, "Good luck, murderers." Bam! He just closes the door.
I mean, I still don't agree with that, but anyway.
No guards?
There are guards lining the walls.
Oh.
Yes. The guards that brought you here,
Okay.
so those were more the city guards. You do have royal guards. So, Gunthor, give me a quick perception check. Quick glance,
Was a 16.
you count at least 8 guards, 4 on each side. So you've got the throne, you've got the Ellison next to him, and then along the walls there's 4 on each side. That's what you can see. That's what you can see. As the Ellison kind of steps forward, he goes, "Approach, please."
Real quick, do I know these people's names?
History check. I'll give you advantage since you have figured out that it's Cornelia.
Okay, cool. Hold
Can
on.
I scan the guards for weapons if they have any specifically ranged
Absolutely.
weapons, but just what kind of weapons they have?
Give me a perception check.
Baby boy.
Okay. 13 was high enough for the king. You do know that this is King of Cornelia, King Conrad Gainsborough. You do not know the identity of his advisor. Avalon, what you notice is most of the guards have at least a sword. None of them are drawn. But yeah, that's all you see. 6, that's all you see. They're all equipped with swords. Nothing any fancier than that you can see. The king kind of very wearily kind of leans forward. So, I hear you've murdered someone in my streets.
I still don't believe it.
No, there's nothing to not believe. It simply didn't happen, Your Majesty. It's an honor to meet a king of your renowned, King Gainsborough. Unfortunately, there seems to have been a miscommunication. We don't remember anything that happened, unfortunately. But the only evidence we have is one person saying they saw it, along with our clean weapons, unfortunately. I think it would be in the best interest of us specifically to wait for there to be more evidence out before we're accused. I unfortunately have a mission I need to carry out, and I would like it if you would give us a full investigation, if that is possible.
As you're talking, he looks over at his advisor, and they kind of share a look. You can see the advisor's eyebrow kind of raise up as the king looks back to the four of you. You specifically, Izzy. You say you have no memory of this alleged murder. Well, I mean, there was a murder, but you have no memory of the action.
We do not, sir.
Is this true for all of you?
Grunthor's going to go down to one knee and just say, "Though I do not owe any allegiance to you, Your Majesty, I do not believe I was involved in this murder."
Your Grace, that is correct.
I don't remember much, to be honest. Really know what's going on. I think I was supposed to come here. Don't remember killing anyone.
Look, I pride myself on being a fair king. I try to be. You can see how it might be a little hard to swallow that 4 people whom I've never seen before within my kingdom, and one of whom I don't even know what you are. He looks over at you, Nozak. He goes, "It's hard for me to believe that you all 4 happened to show up the same day a body drops in my streets, and you have no memory. Who are you? Are you a traveling band of mercenaries? Are you a bard group? Who are the 4 of you?"
I would not trust me with a song.
I am Izzy. Izzy is my name. Izzy, that is the name I go by. Yes. He is uncharacteristically awkward all of a sudden. Izzy, that is my name. Yes. This is my bird, Anubis. He starts looking down, and I'm actually looking for something for my mentor. He starts looking down and playing with his hands. Yes, that's the mission I was on. I've been going from kingdom to kingdom, traveling as a single traveler. I haven't the slightest clue who these people are, but so far, they seem to be decently nice, and at this point he's rambling. He's like,
So the advisor steps forward and says, That's enough. We get the picture. You mean to tell me that you don't have any knowledge of who these other 3 are? You expect us to believe that you show up around the same body and you don't know each other. That's preposterous. Your Majesty, this is the most ridiculous thing. They're obviously guilty. The king just kind of sighs. He goes, Morrow, breath. Calm down.
Easy, take notes, take a breath, breathe.
The king kind of just studies you for a minute. I've heard... Oh, go ahead.
Your Majesty,
Mm-hmm.
there was an old man at the scene, determined to finger all four of us as the murderers. Why is he not here?
I don't know. I feel like he should be. He looks over at one of the guards standing closest to the door. You, go back to the scene, see if you can track this man down. Aye, sir. As he leaves, the doors open, close behind him. The king...
Also,
Go ahead. Sorry, Evelyn.
also, Your Grace, if I may.
You may.
I know you're trying to keep a fair and ruly image, but what kind of great ruler or king would send someone to execution for spilling blood that they don't have on their weapons or persons? None of us are covered in blood anywhere.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
See if I can roll another one.
Boy.
If I was rolling,
Two
it'd be
ones
low.
in a row. Yeah, Grunther, you've had some low rolls tonight. 15. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And 13, okay.
You know, if you right-click, it'll let you roll with advantage or roll both of them at the same time. Just so you know.
Will it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it was. My
Yeah.
man, thank you. Beautiful.
The king just kind of looks at you. You can see him taking a moment, and he's looking from person to person.
I am wearing all white, Your Grace. Blood would be very obvious on me.
That's a fair point. You know, your tale reminds me, as he says that, Morrow cuts him off and says, Your Grace, you have got to be kidding. You cannot... Morrow, shut up! As the Ellison just kind of grits his teeth. I must insist, Your Grace, this is not the time for foolishness. And as he says that, you can see him catch, like, he realizes that he overstepped as the king stands up. And he is not as tall as this. I mean, the Ellison is much taller than him, but the commanding presence as he stands up, you can almost see the Ellison shrink. As the king says, that is quite enough, Morrow. I'm dealing with something, and this could be the answer. You can see Morrow just... I'm sorry, Your Grace. The king turns back to you. For what it's worth, I believe your story. In fact, it reminds me of a tale that's been passed down through the history of Cornelia's great rulers. From my family, for generations. Warriors who will come as the world is on the precipice of a great darkness. In the stories, they too are displaced souls, unsure where they've come from or how they are where they are. Now, I'm not saying it's just a story. I'm not saying it's true, but it's coincidental. I don't consider myself a superstitious man myself, but I do find myself on the cusp of a great darkness myself, personally. And then I have 4 individuals show up in my kingdom, strangers to one another and to myself, all of my guards, and they tell me they have no memory of themselves, one another, where they've been, how they got here. It just fits with the tale too well. At this point, you can see Morrow is just stiff. He's not saying anything, he's not interrupting, but he is just seething.
Can I pipe up? I want Ozak to pipe up a little bit, like, think I know that story. I'm pretty sure Master Mateus has spoken about that one before. And would I
What
say
did
that
you
is
say?
that gonna ring? I was about to say, is that gonna ring any bells? Here we go.
What did you say?
I mean, King Gainsborough. I don't know. I'm so sorry, sir.
Never,
You're
never
the
speak
second.
that man's name in my court. Do you understand me? Does your allegiance
sure,
lie with the
like,
Empire?
He's the 7th I've known. Like,
Just when I was starting to trust you.
preferred.
Are you a
Vineyard,
spy?
To be honest.
Guards, you can see them.
I am 2 feet tall.
All 7 remaining guards kind of draw their weapons. Izzy, give me a history check. Avalan, you can give me a history check too.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Grunthor, give me one, but with disadvantage.
Yeah, 15, baby.
15, 16, those pass.
Hey, 2 smart boys over here.
Grunthor's still rolling. 7.
Oh, it was Vinza, not Vineyard. Got it.
Vinzer. Yeah.
I've got the Scabard page up. Yeah, I'm trying to remember things.
You recognize this. Avalan, I probably should have given you advantage, actually, but you do recognize it. Matthias that he's referring to is the name of the current emperor. And the way that he refers to him as Matthias instead of, Emperor or Emperor Garland lets you know that he's on a first name basis and probably knows this person. So tuck that away. Izzy, you would just know. You wouldn't really have any necessary connection to it at more than just an academic level. But you do register that he just name dropped the Emperor.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
He leans down. Izzy puts a hand on Nozak's head. He's like, little creature, your name is, what is your name? I don't think they introduce each other.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
a creature.
Uh,
But
Nozak, you seem very lost. And as someone who thrives in knowledge, I'm going to assume the best in that you don't understand the social context of that name in this setting. So it would be best for you to maybe keep that on wraps until things need to be said. That's not a good person here.
I mean, to be honest, he's not a good person back there, but I've
He's not
just
a
had
good
to go through
person
6
anywhere.
of them. I just had to go through 6 of them. I'm kind of a bit dull to their style of things and how they run their country. I don't pay too much attention. I'm too busy in the forge 90% of the time.
Love an unbothered king.
That man is single-handedly responsible for every ill fate that has befallen Cornelia in the last 20 years. It was his ruthless need for power that destroyed this city, that laid waste to my people, my land. The reason that half of the damn city is still smoldering ash. His name will not be spoken, and I will not tolerate any Emperor sympathizers in my court. Now, why are you here?
Dozak's just to himself is going to be like, oh, that's why we were making the weapons. Oh, that makes sense.
Are you saying
now.
that out loud or in your head?
I'm saying that in my head, like,
Okay.
oh, yeah. I guess I'm complicit.
What is your real purpose here?
I was told that I was... Okay, look. What I remember is I was being told to come as an emissary for the Empire to visit.
Preposterous.
The only thing I remember...
Matthias would never send... He'd never send an emissary.
The last thing I remember is I was traveling with 3 other people. There was a chef, there was someone else I didn't remember the name of, and there was another high-working official. All I remember is sitting down to eat the rations. I think we were about 2 days out from Cornelia. The three of them were cooking. The chef was nervous. I didn't eat. I was not hungry. I don't need to eat much. I'm 2 feet tall. All I remember is going to sleep, waking up. None of them were near me, and I'm pretty sure they're dead. That's all I remember.
He just kind of listens to your story. As you're telling it, something seems to change in his demeanor a little bit.
I mean, how do I word this without getting into trouble? If I may speak freely without implicating myself, Your Majesty.
We'll see after what you say.
Vinza Garland, the first emperor, he gathered everyone together. He was good. He was fine. The second and third one kind of had the same idea. I've been in the forge with, I believe, what you would call the peasantry. I don't know how it works here. But between the church and the forge, I haven't noticed as much in the higher-ups. I'm there when they are crowned. I am there if they need anything with the church. I've been around a long time. But the current empire, of which I will not speak his name here, he seems a little bit more forthcoming with things, and I don't think even I am now aware of what's going on. Because I was working in the forge with the people when everything happened. We were told it was for something else. We did not know it was for war. And I assure you, on my life, that is what I know.
Give me your persuasion check.
It's I was trying to word that so well.
DM,
Actually,
I did
you know
send
what?
you a message.
Oh, sorry. I'll give you advantage, actually, because your story is 100% true.
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, thank God. I'm at least above a 10. That's fine.
What was the score?
14.
Okay. And then Grunther, I will answer you here because I did forget. With your roll, no, the name didn't mean anything to you. You gather now, you're putting the pieces together, but immediately when he dropped it, it was just a name to you. Sorry, I did forget to tell you the results of your roll. So the king, he seems a little more relaxed, but he's still fuming. You can still see just the absolute rage in his eyes at the mention of that name. He, you can tell, no insight check required, hates this man on a fundamental level. Like, it goes deep, his hatred for this person. So you would not consider yourself
I think the word you used was sympathizer, aligned with it. I don't think that I would. I feel like I'd be more aligned with the people because that's where I've been working. We only work with what we're told, and as far as we were aware, now that you have mentioned the war, of which I feel complicit and I am terribly sorry, we were told that it was for something else, whether it was for doing something, I don't know. If I'm to be honest, we were told to create the weapons, we were told to create the armor, we weren't told why it was being used. We were just told that we had a lot of orders, and let me tell you, the families needed the money, so we took the orders. We didn't know what they were for.
Very well.
But I am kind of really interested in knowing what happened. Not the place, I'm sorry. I get excited.
Izzy has to physically shut himself up from blabbering on the entire history of this fucking country.
Perhaps another time.
You know what, that's fair.
Okay. I have a proposition. At this point, Morrow can't help himself anymore. He goes, Your Grace, you cannot do this. And the king just shoots him a look as Morrow just stops. just glares. A very challenging look, actually. Moro is not saying anything, but the look he's shooting the king is just daggers. The king turns back to the four of you. I believe your story. The people will not. They won't. All they see is one of their own dead, 4 newcomers, and no explanations. But maybe we can shape the narrative somehow. But it will require you to do me a small favor. Would that be of interest to you?
Well, let's say, hypothetically speaking, I said no to the favor. Would I not get out of this castle alive? Just hypothetically, of course. I'm a man that loves to explore options.
Now, I would give you a fair trial. Well, I would give you a trial. I can't promise you that you won't be convicted. The way I run things in my kingdom, I do let the people decide fates on trials. I act as a judge if necessary, but I do let a jury or so of your peers to make the decisions. And I can tell you, it's been a very, very long time since someone was murdered in my streets, and honestly, the 4 of you are easy scapegoats. You can take your chances. The choice is yours, really.
Well, in that case, Your Grace, I'll take the favor, please. Thank you.
I too will take the.
I don't really have much of a choice in this matter.
As the little rabbit has said, there is not much of a choice.
Very well.
Love this.
At this point, he sits back down, and Morrow, for one last time, says, I'm begging you, just let them have their trial. We can't trust them. And the king doesn't even bother answering him this time. I find myself in need of adventurers, for lack of a better word. Someone that is not associated with my kingdom. And to be honest, I'm kind of just taking advantage of the situation that's been put in front of me. 4 strangers, not connected to anyone, who need a favor from me as well. There has been an incident that the people of this kingdom cannot find out about. As he kind of looks from one to each of you. If I get word that anyone finds out what has happened, I will know it was someone in this room that leaked the information, and I will come down on you with my full authority. That is a promise. He takes kind of a steadying breath. 3 nights ago, my daughter disappeared. Out of her room. She would not have run away. That is not her style. She loves this kingdom, and she is in line to be the next ruler when I lay down my crown in a year. But some of the guards saw a figure climbing to her window, and then footprints running off to the northwest. Odd. There's no settlements up that way. The only thing up that way that I can think of is the old shrine to the icon Garuda. Not something that anyone worships these days. An old god that used to be, fictitious stuff of the past. Now, the problem being, as soon as you step outside of Cornelia, you're in the Emperor's borders. My guards can't cross into their land without it being seen as an act of war. And to be honest, with the way things are in the city, the famine that we've had kind of sweeping through, we've had some issues with disease as well. We have trouble getting medicine these days from the town of Balam. Our entire sea trade has been completely decimated. The winds of the Zephyr Sea seem to have calmed. All of our sailing technology, of course, wind-powered. Whose dumbass idea was that? My grandfather's. But I suspect foul play, and whoever has kidnapped my daughter has taken her into Emperor territory. You see the position that I find myself in. I cannot send troops, and if I let this information into the city and try to recruit a militia of sorts, it will spread panic. She is the only heir. Her mother died in childbirth. It's me and her. If she's gone, then there is no one to take the throne, and it will be chaos. So you can see where I'm going with this. I need...
You're,
Yes.
you're sending us because if we fail, you lose nothing.
Exactly. And, if you succeed, we can paint you as the heroes who brought the princess back. And the unfortunate soul that was murdered. An Emperor sympathizer that tried to stop you. You, of course, couldn't tell anybody what was happening because it was a secret from your king. It's a win-win.
It seems pretty foolproof, yes.
I will accept if you allow me to help your healers make more medicine for your people.
What an odd condition. I have no reason
Yes,
to say no to that.
I have sympathy for people who can't afford to heal themselves.
That's admirable. What do you say? Again, this cannot get out. The people cannot find out about this.
I mean, how long would it take to... Actually, is there a time limit on this?
Well,
I mean, aside from as fast as possible, of course. I would like to know if I could either borrow a forge to, like, you know, use your colors so I'm not running around in red and black, because that's not okay.
Actually, I
Or
would
would it
prefer...
be easier?
I would prefer you not wear our colors as you make your way into Empire
Oh,
territory.
right. Yes, I forgot.
That kind of defeats the purpose.
Whole Empire runs everything, and I'm wearing their colors. Ah.
That actually might
smart
work
man.
to your benefit, to be honest.
I like this king. He's better than the other one. Anyway.
That's nice to hear. The deal's
So,
yours, if you
bring
want
back-
it. Or we can have a trial. It's up to you.
Bring back Princess, and we are innocent. Don't bring back Princess. We're still criminals.
If you don't get the princess, don't come back. If you come back empty-handed, there won't be a trial. This is the princess, yes, but it is my daughter we're talking about. She means more to me than anything, including this crown. Failure's not an option.
Okay.
I would like to try and break my bonds.
Strength check. Or athletics, whichever one, you can use your proficiency if you got it.
I was going to say, darn it. That would be +2 more if it was athletics.
So 16?
Yes.
Not quite enough, but you loosen them. As you strain on them, your muscles bulge. They don't snap, but you loosen them enough to where you do have a little bit of your movement. It's an intimidating... it's very intimidating. You can see more...
I stand up.
Go ahead.
While I'm trying to do this, I stand up and I'm like, loose these bonds and I will go hunt down your princess for you and bring her back.
He looks over at his guards. You can see Morrow standing next to him is just shaking his head. Like, he's closed his eyes and he's just like... The king nods to one of the guards who approaches you. Different guard. The guard that was with you is gone. Takes out a dagger.
Oh, Jonathan.
Dagger from one of his boots. Just kind of looks you in the eye. He's very, very hesitant as he just quickly cuts and then takes a step back. You're free. We'll go on, get the
Alright.
rest of them. He starts going
Can I
down
just
the
be
line.
jumping around like me next?
He comes up to you, and he's trying to cut, but you're still kind of hopping around. He goes, "Would you just sit still?" He kind of takes his hand and puts it on you and holds you onto the ground, and then just cuts the little the leash that he's put around you.
Make it even funnier. He doesn't even cut it. He just like lifts it up over my body.
Yeah, you could have slipped out of it at any moment. Izzy, he cuts your bonds. Avalon, he cuts yours last. Seems we have an agreement.
Where is my sword and shield?
It'll be returned to you. And he motions
Thank you.
to one of his other guards, who nods and leaves the room. Well, for the moment, I can't very well have you staying here. Morrow, and he looks over and Morrow goes, "Yes, your grace." And the king says, "Set them up with rooms at the Mughal Goblet. They will put some guards there. Make sure that they're guarded overnight. And you'll set off first thing in the morning. If you need anything, let us know."
Yes. Thank you, my lord.
And now I speak to you as a father. Please bring her home. Her name is Sarah. I miss her. I'm worried about her. I just need her home.
Grace, do you have something we can give to Sarah so that way she knows she can trust us? I assume her trust will be broken.
He reaches down and takes the ring off of his finger, and he kind of looks at it. This was the wedding ring that I've had and worn since I first wed my daughter Jane. He kisses it, and he kind of holds it out to you. Do you approach?
Yeah.
And he places it in your hands, and he kind of clasps it there for a second. This is all I have left of my wife. I'm gonna need this back too. And he lets it go. And you look at it, it's a rather plain ring. It's nothing super fancy. You're a little surprised, you know, this is a king, the King of Cornelia, and the band is just very plain. It seems to be made of silver. Just a nice plain band. But there is an inscription you can see on the inside that says, from your dearest Jane. And that's all it says. Love, always. Sorry.
DM, why you gotta do this to me?
It's just how I do, okay? Don't be asking for sentimental tokens if you don't want.
Yeah,
sentimental
that was kind of my fault. Yeah, that's true.
I was just gonna send you off and let you all
Unbothered.
figure that out. So he looks over at Morrow. He goes, "When you get there, tell Mog that I am personally renting out the entire place. I want every room evacuated. I don't want anyone else staying there tonight. They are under our protection, and make sure that he knows that." Morrow says, "Of course, Your Grace. Anything for the brave warriors." Sarcasm dripping. This guy does not like you.
I had a bad feeling about this.
He says,
Nah, because let's talk about it, because the first thing I was gonna do was roll insight, but I was like, that's out of character for him.
Yeah, straight away I'm like, there's gonna be an ambush during the night or something. I don't trust this bitch as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw nothing.
Morrow or the king? Just out of game, I'm curious.
Oh, Morrow.
Okay.
I
The
can't
king
throw
just
anything,
kind
I'm
of
2
seems
feet
like a
tall.
sad old man.
He's on his way out. He's on his way out.
I'm waiting for the point where we're being led away with Morrow, so
Okay.
I can say something to Morrow under my breath.
Okay. At this point, Morrow does make his way towards the door. Is there anything you all want to do? The king hasn't explicitly said anything, but he's kind of sat back down and he's made it kind of obvious that you're dismissed, just with his body language. And the fact that Morrow's heading to the door.
Grunthor takes, I don't know if he still has all his weapons, but
they'll
he
give them
does
back to
have
you
a pair.
outside. They haven't given back to you
Okay,
yet.
I was gonna. Okay. Then I'm not going to do what I was going to do.
Okay. As you all turn to follow Morrow, the doors open, and they will have your weapons waiting for you right outside the door. They sent someone to gather them. So as soon as you go out, they're not allowed in the throne room. But as soon as you go out, they hand them back to you. And Morrow's just kind of watching everybody as you get your weapons back. Just kind of sizing you up. Have everything you need.
So I'm putting away my hand axes and my dagger, and just before I do the dagger, I pointed at him. It's like, you don't like us.
I don't.
I don't like you.
That's fair.
I don't trust you.
Oh, that
I am
feeling
going
is
to
mutual.
etch your name on this dagger if you turn on us.
Wow.
And put it away.
Make an intimidation check.
Not very intimidating.
You might need new dice.
I
He looks at you, and this man has been the advisor to the king for a while. You gather he's probably heard all sorts of different threats and promises, as he just kind of has this really cocky smirk on his face, and he says, "Etch away, my friend. At the end of the day, I'll still be the king's advisor, and you're going to be dead in a ditch somewhere. I don't expect that you're going to have any luck on this fool's errand he's sending you on anyway."
Oh, I'm going to enjoy wiping the smoke from your face when we find her.
We will talk when we return.
Izzy immediately steps in between them and says, Sir Morrow, if you don't mind, I would love to get taken to our destination, because I would love another look at your wonderful city. There's so much history here.
He looks at you, and then his eyes just dart back to Grunthor and linger there for just a second. And then his eyes go back to you, Izzy, and he stands up a little taller, and he goes into, royal advisor mode. He goes, "Of course. I'll lead you this way to the Moogle's goblet, and I'll answer any questions along the way that you have. Follow me and try to keep up," he says as he gives you Grunthor just kind of a sideways glance. And then he looks down at you, Nozak, and says, "Let us know if we need to slow down." And then he turns away, and he's taking big strides. He's a tall man.
So sis, the library's open, bitch.
Oh my god.
I'm about to read this man fulfilled.
This is throwing Shade Simulator, holy shit.
I am going to ankle bite the ever-loving hell out of this man in like 3 minutes.
Oh.
No, but Izzy is asking questions, a lot of very intellectual questions on the way. He's opening up another journal and writing down this person's answer. He has not gotten a lot of chances so far to speak with a person who's actually made history in a while. So he's just asking as many questions as he can.
Are there anything specific that you're asking him that you'd like an answer on?
The thing about it is, they're stupid dork questions. He's asking about the ruins. He's asking about the time period that the castle was made in. Super random, just history questions that you would get in a pamphlet in a museum.
Okay, very generic stuff. So as he's walking through, he points out some different things. As you come out, he kind of points off to the west, and he gives you, he says, "That's the Grand Library over there. You might be interested in checking that out if you have some free time after your mission. It is the largest collection of tomes in the entirety of Fantasia. Older than the Reckoning itself. We've been collecting tomes there for over 2,000 years. Now,
is it true?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Is it true that you have all three of I don't know, random name. The Grand Sorcerer Whitaker's journals.
My friend, there are 4.
He's going to faint. No, not really. He looks like he's about to faint, but he catches himself.
Now, there was a small fire once the Empire sieged Cornelia during the war, but we have rebuilt that portion of the library. Unfortunately, some of the tomes were lost, but we still boast the greatest collection in the world. It puts the library in Lindblom to shame, let me tell you that. They like to think they have the most, but no. It's here in Cornelia. It's actually the one good thing we have left in this town. There, he points towards a large building as you're walking past it. So you're kind of walking away from the Grand Library, up towards the northeast, kind of back towards where you came from originally. As you're being marched through the town, you also notice a couple people recognize you, and they kind of stop, and they're looking confused at, the king's advisor leading you back through the town, and you're all unbound. Nobody stops to say anything. He does point to this huge, immaculate building. It's the second biggest building in the city outside of the castle. That is the Church of the Hallowed Worm, where we worship our prime deity, Bahamut. Again, dripping with sarcasm. You get the feeling that not a big fan.
Nozak is immediately interested.
Yeah. As he continues, he says, for the longest time, and the king likes to pretend like the deity, the icon Garuda, is ancient history, but for many in the city, there's still practices that they take, shrines they keep. But as far as the official religion of Cornelia, that would be the Church of the Hallowed Worm. The great deity Bahamut, who came to this land and rid it of those ancient, useless icons, as so they say.
They missed one.
Did they?
Did we?
And I just make eye contact directly with Morrow.
Perhaps they did. Time will tell, I suppose. Anyway, follow me. We're getting close. As he leads you out of the older section of town, the city starts to become that newer construction. But right on the edge, he leads you to this one building that's kind of at a weird angle, as he says, "Welcome to the Moogle's Goblet, the second best thing we have in Cornelia outside the library. It's run by a peculiar little Moogle named Mog. He used to be a warrior himself, actually, but he is retired and now he makes fruity drinks for everyone. They're actually quite good. But, allow me to go in for just a moment. I'll talk to the proprietor, make sure that we clear the rooms, and then you'll have some dinner, I suppose, or whatever. I don't care." And then he turns around and just goes into the building. So you all have a minute. He has gone into the building, and you are by yourself. You all. What do you want to do? You got a couple minutes if you'd like. There are a couple guards with you.
Izzy is furiously writing in a journal, and then Anubis squawks at him, and he looks at him. He's like, "No, I don't. I'm sure they're not interested in me. We're kind of in a circumstance where we are forced together. I just know they wouldn't be interested in someone as average as myself."
The rest of you see him talking to a bird, and the bird's not talking back as far as you can tell. It's just making kind of squawking noises.
"What are all of your names?" he says, like a child forced to talk at a family reunion.
I've seen weirder things. I mean, you know mine now, so that's fine.
It seems we are to complete this mission together. I am Grunthor.
I'm Avalon. Feel free to just call me Ava. It's shorter.
I mean, Nozak, Holy Way. Either one, really. Shorten anything you like. I'm used to things being short.
I'm I'm Izzy. Like I said before, my name is Izzy. No last name.
It is nice to meet you. I just kind of give him a weird look. Like,
Yeah. He pulls out a book from his bag. It is a very thick tome, and you just see volume 10 on it as he begins to quietly read to himself.
Am I familiar with all the other races here?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the Ellison and even the Loporrit?
No, except for the Loporrit.
Okay.
You have never seen anything. Actually, none of you have ever seen a Loporrit before. You're not really sure what it is, where it came from. It's an intelligent talking rabbit as far as you're concerned. Izzy, you even have not read about these things. Actually, you have heard just weird snippets, but mainly in what would be the equivalent of a tabloid. Do you know what I mean? Like those publications that no one really takes seriously. So you've heard of rabbit folk, but it's only been in the last couple years. It's something that just kind of some weird phenomena people started writing about in those like off-brand.
Little Rabbit Speaks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, one of those things that you've read about. So it's interesting to you to find one out in the wild, but no, you, Grunther, all the races that you see
one out in the wild
are familiar except for the Loporrit.
Izzy is tentatively taking looks.
At this point, Morrow comes back outside. Go ahead. Nope, you first.
I'd like to go to each one and give them a kind of like a warrior's handshake to solidify our bond together.
Okay.
But with Novak, he gets down onto his knees, leans all the way down, and pulls out his finger for him to.
Do you take it, Nozak? I'm gonna shake his hand.
I feel like Nozak would just kind of like lightly punch him with the gauntlet hand in the finger.
It's like he goes in for a handshake, you go for a fist bump.
No, like he just like looks at him and get down, get lower, and stick a finger out, and he's like, and just punches him in the finger, as if like that was such a dick thing to do. Like,
just
need to get lower.
For my reference, and for anyone watching, how tall are you, Grunthor?
7 foot.
And Nozak, what are you?
I am 2 feet high.
So it's like a giant and like a toddler.
We are a full Izzy between ourselves.
Oh, this is
Jesus Christ.
This is great.
How tall's our Ellison friend?
He's 6 foot and some change.
Okay, and Izzy, what are you?
Izzy, I'm pretty sure I said 5'5" or 5'6".
5'5". Okay, is that with or without the ears?
Oh, definitely without the ears.
Okay,
the ears are a
tall.
little taller.
Yeah, from the art
Yeah,
you
I
sent,
feel like
those
the
ears are
picture-
like another person.
Yeah. I feel like the art puts it in perspective, but he has just like regular Vieira ears. I feel like the artist just took some their own notes, which I'm perfectly fine with. It looks cool.
Yeah, it does. I like the art you got.
Sure.
All right. At this point, Morrow comes back out, and he just kind of looks at each of you. He goes, all right, the upstairs rooms are secured. There's still a few people in there finishing their dinner, so Mog said he would close the place and not let anyone else in, but he's going to let them finish before he escorts them out. So we're going to post some guards out front, and if I see you again, I hope it's after your successful retrieval of the princess. I'm not expecting it, but
No, you don't.
best of luck. May Bahamut bless your trail. He just
You're a
kinda
dick, and I
looks-
don't like
And
you.
may Bahamut find yours.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm off. Best of luck. And he turns on his heel and just leaves you. Doesn't even wait to hear anything else you say.
What a pompous prick. A bit more
I
of a
lean-
cactus. That'd be.
I lean down and like kind of with under my breath to all three, say, "Do you think he'd be tasty?" And I just chuckle, hoping they understand that was a joke.
Oh,
All three of you,
good
give me an
one.
insight check.
Ooh.
Nice.
17, 22.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, y'all get it. I was hoping for like 3.
One
Someone's
person be
super
like,
terrible. Honestly, behind the scenes, I was really hoping Nozak would roll like a natural 1.
Yep.
So that he would be afraid that you were going to eat him the whole time.
I would have been like, for Nozak himself, he probably would have taken it, been like, I mean, if you cook him long enough at the right time. Oh wait, hang on, this is one of those jokes, isn't it? Right, I gathered.
Oh my god. Okay, so. Oh, go ahead. Did you have something to say?
No, it was stupid. God.
Are you making your way? Are you going to retire to the Moogle's Goblet?
Yeah, I got a feed.
It's got an all expense paid room. You best bet I'm enjoying it.
So.
Do they have any carrots?
You can find out.
All
As you go in.
stereotyping.
You go into the Moogle's Goblet and find a table kind of close to the bar, there's a nice fireplace off to the left-hand side. And there's a couch here, but there's one human man who's also kind of tall, about 6 feet, who's just kind of lying back on it. Looks like he's passed out drunk. As you walk in, there are 3 people just kind of having their meal, finishing up down here towards the south side. And then a couple up near the bar that look like they might be on like their first date or something. And then behind the counter, you can see a Moogle who's just kind of floating back and forth with his little purple wings kind of flying as he just kind of bounces back and forth mixing drinks. And you can see he has 2 plates he picks up, little tiny wings kind of flutter out as he just kind of flies out from behind the bar and brings it over to the people that are eating their food down here at the 3 people down here at the table. And just kind of flutters back, checks in on the couple. As you find a table and sit down, he comes over and he just kind of flutters and he's flying kind of over top your table here and he goes, "Greetings, Kupo! Welcome to the Moogle's Goblet. I'm a Mog. Can I take your order?"
Do you have goat?
"Sure. How do you want it cooked, Kupo?"
Raw.
Oh.
"Okay.
I like the look. And Nozak was like, "What?"
Sure. That's just less for me to do, Kupo. What about the rest of you?" Just kind of very like fluttering back and forth. His little palm just kind of bouncing as he's talking to you.
I will have whatever the special is.
"Coming right up." He just looks
Yeah,
expectantly.
make that 2, please.
I'll make it 3, but I only need a half serving.
"Okay, Kupo. Yeah, drinks." As he like flies away, and then he like stops, and then flies back to ask you for your drink order.
Oh god.
Oh, I love him. No. Water?
"Exciting."
There you go. King of Ale.
"I can do that, Kupo." And he just kind of looks to the other 2.
Sure, ale is fine.
Yeah, 3.
"Okay, Kupo." As he turns, he flies away, and you see the couple is like leaning in, like they're about to kiss, as he just kind of flies right between them, poof, kind of barreling through to get back behind the counter as they kind of just pull back away from one another, as he just not rudely, just absent-mindedly, just not even paying attention, as he goes back and he starts just kind of dealing with stuff back there. So
I panicked. I panicked and accidentally ordered. I've never had ale before.
Ooh,
You've never had an ale before?
Have some fun.
No,
that's gonna
I've had
be great.
I've had alcohol before.
Oh.
I'm old enough to drink. I've just never had ale.
Oh,
Weird that you specify that, but okay.
People confuse it sometimes. If I didn't have a goatee, people would confuse me for a child. Or at least a very young man who's not old enough to drink.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
If there's any day that's good for ale, it's a day that your life got spared.
I should have asked for wine.
You hear this clumping noise, this heavy booted footsteps, and the sound of chairs kind of squeeching back as the three people that are finishing their meal stand up and start approaching your table. There's one large Galka, that's leading the charge, and he's followed by two Humes, a man and a woman, both rather large for Humes as well. As the Galka just comes over and he takes the chair, that's the fifth chair there, and he just kind of throws it back and he places his hands down on the table like this. What are you doing here? I recognize you. You especially, he points to you, Grunthor. That's my brother you killed.
Ah.
Now you're just eating the meal like it's nothing. You can
Technically, we can't talk about this.
There are guards in here with us, aren't there?
They stayed outside.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
shit.
didn't come in. They stayed outside guarding people from coming in. Morrow basically was like, there's only like 5 people in there. They'll be fine, and left you.
I will tell you three things. 1, we did not know that was your brother.
All
2,
right.
Well, whoop-de
We
fucking
did not-
do for that, huh? I
2,
feel much better.
we
You
did
didn't
not
know.
kill him. And 3, you need to sleep off what you are drinking.
Yeah, sleep it off. I'll sleep it off. Right after I cut your throat, and he like grabs you and he like pulls you closer. What are you
I
doing?
would not
I just-
recommend that.
I just looked down at his hand. I'm like, you did not ask for permission.
Like you asked for
It would
permission
love
when you killed my
consent.
brother. And then the two guys behind him like, yeah, you tell him! You tell him! Strangers coming into our town, killing people.
I feel like I know who they voted for.
This is gonna
Kick his
be
ass!
Izzy go first. Izzy go first.
Izzy is feeling very VV awkward. He just goes,
Okay.
At this point, the Galka's just staring you in the eye, Grunther. I heard the tales. I heard what they're saying. There's some old man that's just telling everybody. I know the story. I know what you did. You were caught
See, I knew we
standing
should've
over
brought
my
him with
brother's
us.
body.
How tall is this Galka? And he's obviously drunk as...
He's drunk. He's drunk. He's mad. You get the feeling he's probably drinking because he's been depressed. He's not quite as tall as you, but almost. You've got maybe 2 inches on him. He's big.
Can I make an insight check to see whether this is going to start a fight? Because I have an idea.
You can make an insight check. Very low DC.
Okay. Right, yeah. Very low, and I have a +4 already.
Okay.
13.
If something doesn't stop him from escalating, he will probably try to fight. Yes.
Okay, this is gonna be really cute and sad, but I want it to happen. I want to get up on my chair and then slowly lead myself and get on top of the table, and I just want to stand next to the both of them, and I just want to be like, I assure you, we did not know these things. We are not able to talk about what is going on. That is at the king's word. I would recommend we just breathe, because it's not going to end well.
Give me a persuasion
Are we
check
are we?
with disadvantage.
Oh, sorry. Are we seated at a window?
No, you're
No, right in the middle.
Yeah, you're like right in the middle. That was the only open table when you came in. that had enough.
Persuasion with disadvantage. You said right click and it does 2?
If you right click, it'll give you the
Mhm.
option to do advantage or disadvantage.
That's so cool. You're kidding me.
Well, you were trying to
I still got
convince
11.
Yikes.
a bunch of drunk people.
First natural 20 and we can't even use it. No, you got one earlier, didn't you, Izzy?
No, that was a dirty
Yeah,
20.
dirty 20.
That'd be right.
The Galka that's in Grappa's face goes, I ain't talking to you, rabbit. Talking to this asshole.
Okay. I would recommend that we get ourselves prepared, and I want him to jump off the table.
Okay.
And I want to stand him. Yeah, it's so cute. I want to stand him in between the long. Wait, I can move my
Yeah,
character.
you can move your
we move
token,
our character? Okay. I want to move him so that he's here in between in a big enough space. And
Okay.
I want him to just look at it. And I said, and I want to try intimidation this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna say let him go.
Wait, what's the last bit?
I said let him go. This
What
seems
are
like
you
it's a bit
gonna
more
do about
appropriate.
it?
I'm gonna hold up my gauntlet. I'm gonna
Okay.
click a button, and I'm gonna say, "How about we try again?" So just click the button. Do you want to describe it, or how are we
You
gonna
can
do
if
this?
you'd like to. Go ahead.
So what happens is Nozak clicks a button on his gauntlet, and he clenches his fist. As he clenches his fist, you see a light projection appear or start to appear around him. As he starts lifting up about 3 feet off the ground, so now he's 5 feet off the ground, and you see the light start to materialize into hardened metal as you see an old, worn-down Magitech armor. As Nozak's standing in the middle of it with his little controls.
If you're familiar with
How
Final,
about
You have
now?
Final
You have a
Fantasy
mecha?
VI,
Final Fantasy VI.
yeah, it's the armor that looks very similar to that from Final Fantasy VI, or the Praetorium raid from Final Fantasy XIV. And Ava and Izzy, you would know this as Magitech, a technology very commonly used in the Empire. We're gonna roll
This is
initiative
not
because
going to end well.
whipping out some Empire tech in the middle of this is definitely initiative worthy. So let's go ahead and roll some initiative here.
These people's poor date.
I know. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think it's another way they
Yikes,
wanted
Izzy.
it to. All right, 1 second.
Oh, wait, you rolled a 19? A1. Why did I think he rolled a natural 1? It's fine, I don't care.
It didn't bring them over. Can you read them off to me, Izzy? What did you get?
Izzy got a 19.
19. Grunthor.
Wait, sorry, Izzy got a 20, sorry.
Okay. Grunthor.
7.
Ava.
11.
Sorry, I had to go to a different screen. Nozak.
10.
Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Perfect.
10.
All right. I've been looking forward to this one.
Have you, DM? Have you?
Just been looking forward to the Sirenscape background.
Ooh. DM been doing some research. Let's go.
All right. So, Nozak jumps off the table, says this very intimidating thing, doesn't elicit much of a response from the crowd until he slams this gauntlet, and around him produces this Magitech armor straight out of the Empire's playbook. As now, oh man, I don't have a token for the Magitech armor. That was totally a fail on my part. Next time.
We'll just use me.
Next time, as it's just what he was technically a small creature, now he is a medium creature, as he's just in this giant mech thing. The guy that's holding you, Grunthor, has looked away temporarily and is currently just eyeing this thing. At the top of the initiative order, it's sorry. Izzy, you're up first.
Of course I do when I have the goddamn hiccups. Okay. What does this guy have on right now?
What does he have on? Like, what's he wearing? He doesn't look
Yeah,
heavily armored.
what's
He
he
does
wearing?
have a weapon. I mean, so they do have their weapons with them in here. But as far as his armor, it just looks like some light padded leather.
Is he wearing his weapon? Ugh, gross. Is he wearing his weapon on his belt?
Yeah, he is wearing his weapon on his belt.
Okay. How tight is this belt on his waist?
What do you want to do?
If I were to, I don't know, if a spectral hand were to take the belt off, what would that be?
Spectral hand. So what is the description of that?
Mage hand can lift up to 5 pounds, basically.
Okay, you're gonna have
would I be able to loosen his belt?
It's gonna be a check. You'll
Oh, sorry,
probably-
10 pounds.
10 pounds. You're just trying to loosen it so it falls to the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're probably gonna just need to make me a spell casting check. It's gonna be a higher DC though, because you're gonna have to actually try to unloop the belt and get it out. So it's gonna be really magical, dexterous work trying to get this to fall. This will be your action.
Your boy's actually going to. This guy might punch him if he leaves though. Izzy is going to.
Sorry. So just for clarification, I do have him in the wrong spot. So let's just make sure he would be over here since he approached Grunthor. So he would be there.
Izzy is going to disengage because he's not a fighter. He is a hider, and more specifically, he reads books all day. He's a nerd, so he's gonna disengage and get into the protection of his new best friend, and that will be his action.
Okay. All right. Next up in the initiative order is the guy. So as he's looking back, he looks at this thing that's kind of popped up, and then he looks back to you, Grunthor. And you can just see he's trying to make a decision. His eyes catches his teammates very briefly and nods as he turns around, and he's just gonna haul off and try to punch you right in the face. Does a 15 hit you?
Does not. Well, it would just be my chainmail, so that's 16 armor?
Yeah. No. So he goes to punch you, and he's drunk, so it's not quite as straightforward as it was, and you actually reach your hand up and just grab it, and you just kind of holding his hand there as he's like, "What, are you gonna kill me too?" That's gonna be his action, as he's just kind of just staring you in the face. Next, it's gonna be Ava.
So which two companions are his?
So
his
that
allies?
would be this one and this one. These two
that's
are kind of
great.
watching what's going on because this all just kind of broke out right in the middle of their date. So it's these two down here that just came up with him.
Okay. Is the table bolted to the ground?
No.
Oh,
We're going to have to use our imagination because I can't move it on the map, but it's not bolted to the ground.
That's good. I'm gonna cause some chaos. I'm gonna kick over the table and draw my quarterstaff, and then put myself between those two and Grunthor, and I will hold my attack to bop one of them with the staff if they try to attack any of my allies.
Fair enough. Okay, so you got a held
I'll just
action.
give them warning of stay out of this.
I just kind of laugh at you. Nozak, you're up.
Yes. Hello. I started this, and I will finish it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step a little bit closer to this guy over here,
Okay.
and as a bonus action, I am going to cast Searing Smite, which next time I hit someone with a melee during it, I get to do more damage, and that is a bonus action.
Okay.
So with my actual action, I'm just going to look at him and basically be like, you picked the wrong side, and I'm going to aim for his head.
Go for it. Give me an attack roll.
We're about to become actual murderers.
With that one. Does a 14 hit them?
14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, I need to do 2d6 plus 2 because I forgot I do not have a sword, I have a mace. And that is
Also,
my fault.
no, Zach, you can attack non-lethally.
I can?
You can. You just have to admit it before. It is a lot hard. The only time you can't, I believe, written as rules is with spells, which is why Izzy is not attacking.
No, I will let you do that, depending on the spell. I mean, if it's something like, power word kill, no. But if you got like a firebolt, you could make that to where it just incapacitates them or something. That's easy.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I did not know that we could not do.
Yeah, you don't have to kill them.
I didn't know that we could do non-lethal. Yeah, obviously I'm going to be non-lethal.
For me, but you don't have to.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've just pulled out an Empire Magitech armor. I doubt I'm on any.
And then actually murder somebody right after you get a free pass from the king.
I'll be like, oh, good, you can beat your brother. No, I'll do it non-lethally. I don't think this is going to do much else. So I get to roll 2d6 and plus 2. That is 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay.
Non-lethal. Now that I know that's a thing.
Okay. So 6 damage. You walk up with this thing and just bam right across the side of his. Actually, he was facing Ava, so you kind of hit him right in the back of the head as he just kind of.
Oh, king hit. Let's go.
Yeah. He turns to you and he's seeing stars. He goes, "Oh, Bunny, you shouldn't have done that." And you can see he then pulls out his sword, and it just goes, "Let's dance."
Alrighty. At the start of each of its turns, until the spell ends, target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 1d6 fire damage, and on a successful save, it ends.
Okay. Remind me of that when it's his turn, if you don't mind.
Cool.
Grunther, you're up.
I am. So I have a hold of his arm. You said.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do.
Kind of like his
does
fist.
he look as
like that?
Yeah. So okay, so I have his fist, and I'm just going to like push him back a little bit, pull him forward, and headbutt him. Non-lethal damage.
Go for it. Give me an attack roll.
Go off.
Come on.
Will a 15 hit?
Yes, 15 hits.
4 points of damage straight.
4 straight points. Perfect. As you pull him in and bam, just headbutt him. He's, you can see like a big red spot in his forehead as he's just like, "Is that all you got?" Anything else? That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Well, that was well done. Kudos. No, Kupos.
Kupos.
I mean, I have 2-weapon fighting, yes or no, right? Would I be able to? Well, I have a hold of him. I want to try and use my movement to move him towards the door.
Oh, you want to start pushing him?
Yeah, I like slam and then push him.
Give me. Sure, let's go for it. But we're gonna do a contested strength check. As you
okay.
He'll roll his, you'll roll, and then if you can move him, you can move him up to half your movement.
Okay.
So let me roll for him.
Nat 20. That's a 23.
Did you really get a nat 20?
Go!
I rolled so good on this too. Yeah, no problem.
It didn't show up?
Go!
Oh, it did. I just wasn't looking yet. Yeah, it did. Yeah, I rolled so good on this too. I had an 18. So as you just bring him in, you headbutt him, and then you just take your other hand, put it in his chest, and with this hand still clasping his fist, just start pushing him back towards the door. What's your movement speed?
30, so
15.
15 feet?
Yeah. So 5, 10, 15. So about to right there. So if you could move, well, I can move your token too, I think. Perfect. Just push him towards the door. Is that it for you?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, I need to make a Constitution saving throw because it is
Constitution saving throw. Yes.
Okay. So give me just 1 second.
Oh. Okay. It needs to
Yeah. What does it need
be
to be?
that one. It needs to be the 12.
It got a 12. So, I think we lost somebody.
Oh,
Dang
that probably.
Oh, he's coming back though. Yep, he hits 12. So he does meet. He
Okay.
beats that,
So he's no longer on fire because the spell has ended.
My turn. He takes his sword and he's going to bring it around and try to slash. Try to find somewhere inside the armor to hit at you. And does a 18 hit.
That is my armor class.
Boom. So
Strong.
that's 7 points of slashing damage. I rolled really good on that. As he finds the little hole in where you sit and just kind of jams it in there, and you can feel it just kind of slice across one of your arms. Cuts pretty deep, especially since your arms are so tiny inside of this thing. And he brings it out. Is your blood red?
Let's go with a very light red, almost blue. Like there's not enough oxygen in my tiny little body.
Gotcha. As he just kind of brings it out, slashes it down on the ground, there's this streak of your kind of light red blood just on the wooden floors as he's like and then the lady
I'm impressed.
is going to advance on you, Ava.
Yeah.
Same thing. She is going to bring out a sword and just have at you. Does an 18
God.
hit you?
Yeah, it does.
Now you.
Oh no.
Now
How is the backup better than the fighter?
this is going to be 3 points of slashing damage, but you were holding your action, so you can use your attack as well.
Heck yeah. As she approaches, give him the bop. Oh, shit.
So
7.
as she approaches, you have your quarterstaff, and you go to hit her in the face, but she ducks underneath it and slashes up across your arm as she's coming back up, going underneath it. So you did not hit, unfortunately. That will bring us, though, to the top of the round, and I believe that's what, Izzy?
Yes.
Yep, Izzy, you're
Yes.
up.
Did Ava win already? Jeez.
Well, they held their action, and then that was it.
Oh, right. Okay. He's going to go even further down here, and as he does, he ducks down a bit and he looks at Anubis. He's like, "What do we do in a situation like this?" And he looks up and you just see Anubis has a knife in its mouth. He's like, "No,
Yeah.
we don't need a massacre in here." And Anubis just puts the knife away. He's like, and you see he pulls out a book that just says history of heroic one-liners, and he says, you need to cool off, and he points a finger. So Izzy, sorry, I'm reading my thing. Izzy, you see Izzy, he draws a rune in the air, and as he does, it glows red, and it comes from his finger. But once that happens, you see almost like a thin line of air almost heats up and pulls towards his hand, and then he pushes it into the orb so he can kind of aim it. And he's going to cast fire at this boy over here.
Go for it.
Yeah, he says, "You need to cool off," and then fire comes. He's like, "Damn it!" All right, let's see if he hits. Oh, good shit. That's 23.
Was that a crit? No, it wasn't a crit. That hits.
No, it was not.
That
He is not a
definitely
barbarian. All right, so that's going to be 1d10 fire damage. He is trying to go as non-lethal as humanly possible. As you just see, a tiny bolt of fire shoot towards this guy.
hits. Okay.
That's 8 fire damage.
8. So this flame shoots out of your orb, and it hits this guy right in the chest. It slams against him, and then the fire kind of burns out, and the impact of it makes him step backwards, and his foot slips as he falls and cracks his head on the floor, unconscious.
You sure? No, I'm kidding.
You have to check him in a minute.
That's all. That's
you-
all he can do with this turn.
Okay, and then the next is going to be the big guy, kind of with you. So he's actually going to try to do something very similar. Since, you've got your hand on him, he's going to try to pull your hand, kind of twist it, and then he's going to basically just kind of come down and try to, like, hit your arm like that. I don't think I'm going to do it, though. We'll see. Does, maybe not. 15. Is that your armor class?
Armor class 16.
16. As he goes to do this, you just kind of jerk it out of the way, kind of bend. As he tries to turn your hand, you instead bend his up, and now you almost have him in like a hold like this. You are just dominating the hell out of this guy. Doesn't help that he's a little tipsy. All right, so next it's Ava. You have this lady in front of you who just took a pretty nice slash out of your arm.
Kind of look at it. All right, then you're pretty good. And he will take a swing with the quarterstaff, see if that'll make a difference. It's a little better.
Hey.
23 to hit.
That hits, actually. Believe it or not.
She'll suffer 8 points of damage as I bop her in the collarbone with the staff.
Bam! Really solid hit, and you can hear her go, ah! Ah! She's just like looking mad, but that knock took a lot of the wind out of her.
And then with my bonus action unarmed strike, I will just clock her in the jaw if I can.
Go for it.
For an 11.
That just misses. As you try to push through for the one, she manages to just barely duck out of the way. Your fist actually it grazes her ever so slightly, but not enough to do damage. You just barely missed her.
And that will be my turn.
She is looking skittish. So after that, Nozak, you are up.
Yes.
Oh, you
so
took some
the
damage.
guy that
Ooh,
I punched.
I forgot level 1. Ooh, forgot about these low HPs.
Oh, I'm fine. So the guy that I punched, he's out cold.
Yeah.
From being set on fire.
Yeah.
So he's out. So now it's the big guy and this chick. Okay. Let me read this real quick to see if I can make this a non-lethal. Yes, I can. Alrighty. Nozak's kind of done with this guy's shit. So he is going to turn around to face the big guy that's holding Grunthor. He's going to look at these two are kind of having a moment. He's going to be like, oh, that's cute. And he's going to turn to the girl.
Okay.
As he turns to the girl, because he's just ignoring the guy, he's not worrying about him. Nozak is gonna like press a couple of buttons in his armor because it's a lot different to what the Empire is currently using. This is a very old one. It's like one of the first ones that were ever actually commissioned and made. He presses a couple of extra buttons, and as he does, his right arm kind of lifts up, the metal starts to peel back, and there's a bright light on the inside of it as he pushes it out, and hopefully guiding bolt hits this chick.
Let's see.
Which should be interesting. So fingers crossed it hits.
You mean the
Does
best
a 21 Does a 21 hit her?
21's gonna hit, yeah. Give me some damage on that.
Yeah. Alrighty, we are running this 4d6.
Oof.
13 damage.
Yeah. This thing, as it's your hand kind of like a cannon thing, like
Yeah, like
as it shoots out, it definitely it impacts her. Hold on just a second. I wonder if I have like a sound effect for this.
Oof.
it's just Minecraft villages.
I don't have a sound effect. That sucks. Anyway, as this thing, you can see her. She just dodged this fist from Ava, and she takes her sword. And she's getting ready to like hit again as this beam just hits her from the side. Boom! Ava, from your perspective, you just see her, and then this light just kind of by your face, and she's gone. As it kind of propels her away from you. Yeah, that knocked her unconscious. In fact, that yeah, that was a big hit. I think that would have taken her out. Period. I think she only had like 11 HP. She kind of flies over here and hits this chair and topples over it onto the ground. And the chair breaks, by the way. The force of her slamming into it just kind of shatters the back off this chair. All right,
Nice.
so that's those two that are out. And then, is that all? Do you have anything else?
Is that a bonus action? No, it is not. Okay, I am good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Grunther, you're up.
So still having a hold of his fist or his arm now.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
are
going to
kind of like
wrap-
tangled.
I'm going trying to wrap it around behind him very forcefully, if it does some damage, great, and I'm going to continue pushing him out the front door.
Let's do another contested check. I'll give you advantage on this, though, because you do have him in a pretty compromised position, and he's drunk, so...
Alright.
Actually, I probably should do disadvantage. Okay. What'd you get?
Ooh, I'm glad you gave me advantage.
20.
Because
You managed to kind of pull his arm in a very painful behind his back, kind of pull it up, and he's like, "You let go of me, you son of a..." As you just keep pushing him. Another 15 feet. Just 5, 10, 15, I think. Did I do that right? Sorry, I was moving yours too. My bad.
oh, sorry.
As you're just pushing him, and he's like struggling. At this point, he doesn't seem to notice though his friends. He is just locked in on you. Anything else?
That's my action and movement. I don't think I can do anything else with my bonus other than I'll say, hey, take a look behind you. Your friends are... Oh, sorry. In character. Your friends are sleeping. You should sleep too. And with my other hand, I'll slap him on the back of his head.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage because he's drunk and pissed.
Ooh,
Ooh.
not too bad. I like these wooden dice.
Yeah, you switched. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta switch. You gotta put those old ones in dice jail, and you gotta switch to the new ones. He just kind of grunts. Let go of me. Now, next up will be Izzy. So it's up to you. What are you doing? So what you see is, you see that Grunther kind of has the upper hand on this guy, and he seems to be forcibly moving him to the exit. What are you doing?
This is a difficult one. Izzy just calls and he's like, Grunthor, do you want me to knock him out?
I'm taking him outside. Guards can watch him.
Okay. And Izzy is just going to go right over here, just in case.
Okay. Next up is him. He's going to try one final time to just kind of break your grasp.
So opposed strength roll? No.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. He's not going to break out with the roll. So he's like, let go of me. As he's stuck. Ava, what are you going to do? Grunther seems to have this handled.
Oh. I'll look over at the table I kicked over and I'll kind of pick it up, and if I see the Moog, I'll be like, yeah, sorry about that. Casualty.
Happens all the time,
pull up a
Kupo!
chair. I'll just pull up a chair and I guess I'll just get a dart ready just in case.
Best
This
news
move
is
was A1.
you're dining on the king's dime. Woohoo! I'm gonna get a new piano.
Make it 2 more ales, please, then. And then that's my turn.
Coming up. He seems to not be caring at all about what's happening.
Yeah, he'll just build a king. It's fine.
This is the coolest fucking character I've ever seen in a D&D game.
I never thought I would hear Mickey Mouse say Kupo.
Yeah, my Moogle had to be Mickey. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Mickey Mouse. So
I love it. I love it so much.
Mickey. I got a decent Mickey because I watch so much Disney. I don't really Kupo's whatever. I'm gonna do Mickey Mouse. So
Let's go.
DM, give us this Kupo's autobiography.
Yes. I want full last name, the last 27 parts of their.
there is
family
a
tree.
there is a little bit on Scabard already, but I'll probably add to it now that we've met him in game. So Nozak, you're up. What are you gonna
Yes.
do?
I am going to press a couple of buttons and then I'm going to smack one in the middle. And what's going to happen is that Nozak will drop the 3 feet to the ground, the Magitech becomes incorporeal, so it stops being like metal. It turns into like a wire framing of light, and he falls to the ground as the light kind of compacts itself, and then goes back into the gauntlet, and then just kind of like locks in place. And he's also just going to pick up a chair and sit down on top of the thing and swing his legs as if he didn't just, completely decimate this bitch.
Okay, yep. Just starts swinging your legs. As you do that, about this time, totally unperturbed, Mog comes by with the plates and just starts dropping things down at your table and then flies away. At this point, we are going to drop out of initiative. So we had a whole round where no one took any action. Grunthor, you've got this guy. He's not getting out. You can get him to the door with your next move if that's what you want to do.
I'm actually going to get him to the door,
Okay.
and I'm actually going to, if I can, throw him.
Give me an athletics check on that one. Just to see how spectacular this throw is.
21.
You summon all of your strength. You get him to the door.
Yeah.
And again, he's only like 2 inches shorter than you. But you summon all of your strength as you kind of grab him by the back, like the shirt on the back of the neck, and then also like down by his belt loop. As you physically just squeeze your muscles, lift him off the ground, and actually give him a nice out the door. As he slams face first and skids, the guards kind of jump and turn around. They draw their weapons, looking from you and to him, totally confused. He's
And I'll just say,
on the ground.
Drunk.
Iconic.
Turn around and just walk back to the table.
The doors.
A king, truly.
Honestly, we stand.
As Grunthor's walking back, Ava's gonna turn to Nozak and say, "Boy, I'm glad he's on our side."
Oh my god.
That's music.
Incredible.
That's brilliant.
As you all make your way back to the table, Mog comes back around and he finishes putting the plates down. Can I get you anything else, Kupo?
I'm good, thank you.
I wasn't joking. If you want to break the piano, go for it. We need a new one.
I really.
Oh.
I want to walk over. I
getting
want to walk over to the piano and just see how much damage my mace does to this thing.
Give me an
Oh
attack
my
roll.
god.
Okay, attack roll with my mace is.
Seriously?
Oh, It almost hit the 18. It's a 9.
It's
I mean, it's a wooden object. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't have a high.
you kind of hit it, boom, and it's really solid. Surprisingly, you kind of hit it on the side, and it puts like a little dent in it, but it's not actually
World's
going to affect
heaviest piano.
the performance of it. And Mog goes, "Oh well, maybe that's enough," and he just turns around and flies back behind the bar.
I'm so determined to break this thing now.
Izzy goes back to the table and he breathes out. He's like, "Oh my goodness. I've never been in a fight before. Is this what it's like? Is this what adventurers do?"
Yes, but with a little more activity.
Yeah, as he sits down, his hands are shaking. And he goes, "Oh my goodness." And that's when his Anubis starts cawing at him. He's like, "No, I don't have a taste for blood."
As Nozak walks by, he just kind of like pats him on the thigh because that's all he can reach. And she was like, "You did good. You didn't really do much or in the thick of the fight, so technically you weren't a part. You did good. You knocked someone out. That's your first non-lethal kill. Congratulations.
Am I gonna have to kill someone now?
We could organize that.
Yes. Oh.
I would prefer not to. Oh.
You won't have a choice." And he's just gonna sit down on the chair and just start eating again.
Before I sit down, I'm gonna go up to Izzy. I was like, first kill, you're supposed to eat their heart. And I chuckle to myself, walk over to the 2 knocked out bodies, pick them up and drag them outside too, and tell the guards, more drunks. And then go back to our table.
Who'd you say that to, Izzy? Izzy, it's up to you if you think he's joking or not. What you think Izzy would interpret that as, I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, after he laughs, he knows it's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah. But Izzy will, because Izzy's a nice boy, he orders a dessert for the couple whose date hopefully wasn't ruined.
Okay. You see that they seem they seem young. They seem that they're probably like 18. They seem a little shaken, but as things have calmed down, they've kind of gone back, and the dessert comes, and you do see them finally get up the courage to get the kiss in. So it's very, very chaste and polite, first date, second date, maybe kind of kiss, just a very quick, and then the blushing, and then they kind of just go back to doing what they were doing. It's very cute.
DM, if we don't go to their wedding, I need you to understand I will sue.
Noted.
In 40, the entire session is just them getting married. I want all the voices. I want the pastor and everything.
We'll
I need the vows.
I'm an emissary. I can officiate.
Oh, jeez, you can.
This is going to be great. Okay.
Oh my
Note
God.
to myself, I need a backstory for these two.
So when I get back to the table, I'm going to be like, that made me hungrier. I'm going to pick up a goat leg and start gnawing on it, blood dripping from it.
And you'll notice everyone else at the table, his is the only one that's rare. The rest of yours is cooked. And it's an interesting sight. Not really appetizing, but Grunther seems to be enjoying himself.
Izzy drinks the ale and immediately spits it out in his cup. he just goes, "Oh, that is vile," and then he takes another sip, and then he spits it out again. He's like, "Oh, it's even worse the second time."
No, it just gets better,
And then he takes
Kupo. Just keep going.
It gets better. The best part's usually like at the bottom, with alcohol. The best part always, you got to get to the bottom for the best part.
Mog flies around.
I'm trying to convince him to keep drinking.
And he has another one in his hand, and he just sets it next to the one you have. As he goes, "On the king, trust me on this," and then he just kind of flies back to it.
Yeah,
Flies
but
back
Izzy
down.
will take tentative sips of the ale because he's a skinny nerd boy. He can't drink that much.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to lift up my keg and to the king, and do the kind of like.
And then you see, as you do that, you see Mog has a glass too, and he goes, "To the king and his deep, deep pockets, Kupo!" And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yay!
Oh, I love
Long
it.
rest.
Yes.
We did go a little over, sorry. I know I said about 2 hours, but when we got into the bar, I was like, let's just go for it. Thank you all for playing. This was so much fun. I had a great time. We just play in the game. I haven't actually been looking to see if anybody was viewing or not. So if you are, thank you for watching. These will be up on YouTube. So I know we've got some people that are looking forward to watching it that way. So when you see this in the future, thank you for having watched it. So I appreciate all of you so much. I cannot wait to continue this. I had a great first session, I think. Any final thoughts before we sign off for the night that you want to say on stream, or we can, and then
Not all fighters are killers. I mean, look, I didn't kill anyone.
not a
I'm
single
innocent.
person? Well, that's to be seen. All right, thank you
Just realized
all.
I'm the bloodthirsty one.
Thanks again to Sirenscape for letting us have those awesome sound effects. Those were fun to play with. If you're wanting to catch us live, we're going to be here on twitch.tv/KupoQuest every Monday at 9:30. And again, episodes will be on YouTube at some point when I can get them up there and figure out exactly what I need to do that. Anyway, can't wait. We'll see you next week. Lally ho.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
I don't recommend a raw goat.